Warning, this episode contains 14-year-old schoolboy humor about Uranus.
Listener discretion is advised. Do you love to travel?
Do you love road trips?
Do you love finding hidden treasures in towns all over the USA? Hi, I'm Joshua.
And I'm Craig. Welcome to Treasures of Our Town. It's the podcast that explores unique and charming towns scattered throughout the United States.
Guided by our love for location-based games like geocaching. Join us as we venture into some of the country's most intriguing destinations, uncovering hidden gems and local secrets along the way.
On today's episode, Josh, we went to Uranus together in Missouri. We visited a Fudge Factory. We did so much there. We played some Munzie. We did some geocaching. You got a video out as well. The Munzie's got a video out too. So, mate, this episode is all about, you call it Uranus in your video.
Uranus. Yes. I published my video today, and there were some people who were like, thank you so much, Josh, for pronouncing it the correct way.
No. Not some people. There was one person, and that was Bell on the Move. I did read the comments, Josh.
There was more than one. There was another one. There were two.
Oh, two.
Anyway, yes, I call it the sophisticated way of Uranus. Welcome to Uranus.
No, it's always been
but
Uranus.
Not nearly as fun.
No.
And even when we were in Uranus, when I said it when we were in the Sideshow Museum, the lady was like kind of irritable with me. She was like, "It's Uranus."
Yes, exactly. Because, and we're going to talk about the reason why it's actually Uranus as coming up. Because you did some research, Josh. You got some history about it as well.
Yeah, and I asked some of the locals, and then I wanted to confirm it, and it actually was confirmed.
Wow.
What the reason why Uranus, Missouri, exists.
Yeah. You actually had to try and pronounce it Uranus because you're so used to Uranus. I even saw your mouth move differently. Anyway, Josh, in between then and now, what have you been up to, mate? What's your upgrades and delays?
Well, this week was a short week of work for me because I went down to Bowling Green, Kentucky.
We've spoken about Bowling Green before.
I know. Reese had an episode about Bowling Green because that's where Reese, my oldest, and my son Jonah both went to college, and Jonah graduated from Western Kentucky University this week. So we went down there to celebrate. Congratulations,
Jonah, mate. Well done. I did see a couple of photos, Josh, on your Instagram page as well. So a big congratulations to him. But I will say this, Jonah, if you're listening, because he doesn't, maybe not do a little, muscle off with your younger brother, because your younger brother has got you covered big time. So Hayden is looking jacked, mate. He's looking really
he is looking
really jacked, really worked up.
Pretty strong. Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
He might go into exercise science for college.
That's really cool.
Kind of cool. He's got a passion for building the muscle.
So he's nothing like his father, if that's the case then. But anyway, what's been your delays? Any delays apart from that then?
Delays.
Sometimes it's
not
hard.
Too many, actually.
Yeah.
Not too many, actually. I don't have any. I'm going to say zero.
Oh,
life is good.
Wow. Don't jinx it, though. I know, right? I know. Anyway, meanwhile, Josh, my upgrade. I'm going to start with my upgrade first as well. I went to Mingo Madness last weekend. Mingo Madness. So
was it mad?
Not really. There wasn't as many people there as I was hoping for. It really wasn't. I mean, you think about it though, Josh. There is the Mingo Madness is a block party. Last weekend. This weekend coming up is another block party, the ASP Geobash as well in Western New York. And then the weekend after that is the big Giga. So 3 weekends in a row, 3 big geocaching events in a row as well. So and I'll say, Mingo Madness, it was an upgrade for me. I really did enjoy it. I spent 3 or 4 days in Colby, in Kansas. And I will say that Oddie Olsen, I think his name is, the geocacher there, he places some really cool gadget caches. And
That's
Josh,
cool.
These gadget caches, they stand the test of time as well. Some of them have been there 5, 6, 7, 8 years, and they're not as still, the paint's faded, you know what I mean? But they still work really, really well, And I took a leaf out of your book, Josh. I did a few TikToks and a few short videos and a few Instagram reels as well. So
a couple of them that you featured, I had found last time I was there. Last time they had Mingo Madness 5 years ago. Yeah. So I recognized some of them. And Oddie Olsen, great hider.
Yes.
And a lot of his stuff stands the test of time. So you gotta love that.
Exactly.
And shout out to Ryan Semmel,
yes,
who not only put this event together, Mingo Madness, but a couple weeks ago he put together Moga. So he did 2 block parties in the matter, 2 mega events / block parties in the matter of just a month, which is crazy.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. But he does a great job, Ryan. He's a really good mate as well. And if ever you see Ryan, he gives out rugs, I call them. They're called Ryan hugs because he's such a big guy. He gives out the biggest, squeeziest hug you'll ever have in your life. So, meanwhile, mate, my delay would be, the fact is that I've actually got to travel now. Like, I've got to travel from Colby, Kansas, all the way east to the Western New York for ASP. And I've only got 5 days to do it. So I'll be there this Thursday. As you listen to this Thursday, I'm arriving in Western New York for the ASP Geobash, Josh. So
where are you parked? Where are you parked right now?
Right now is Sunday night. It's the night before this is published again. It's a late one. I am actually back in St. Louis. So I'm on the outskirts of St. Louis. So I've made a couple of good inroads into the actual trip. I've got about, I'm going to say about 12 hours to drive yet in the next 3 days. That's not too bad. Not too bad. So
nice.
I can do the 4-hour trips. They're easy. So that's
nice.
That's my. Would you call it a delay? The fact that I have to travel? I don't know. And this is a travel podcast.
That's fun. It's a pretty high delay.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Well, at least I've given a delay, Josh. Unlike you can't even think of one. You know what I mean? Like I had to think. I had to think long and hard. What is actually my delay? And I will say as well. Like I did a 3-hour stint today. I did stop for 2 caches, which is good. And that's what geocaching does as well. It makes you stop to rest your legs, to get out and walk around and sort of refresh yourself as well. Because when you're driving by yourself without sort of music or without podcasts to listen to, you do start to get a little bit dozy. So rest, revive, survive. There's my tip as well. Rest, revive, survive.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
So Josh, are we going to move on to Uranus?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or should we talk about Uranus?
Well, I think we'll talk about. Let's just talk about Uranus.
Okay, let's just talk about Uranus.
Yeah, we'll talk about Uranus. Okay.
No,
what's the you want to do the backstory first about Uranus, why it is actually named Uranus, or do you want to tell everyone else how you came to Uranus?
Well, I think we should start with the backstory.
Yeah, backstory first.
There is actually a little area. I don't even think it's a town, Craig. It's an area.
It's an area.
It's an area called Uranus, Missouri, right outside of St. Roberts, Missouri, which I believe there's a military base there. There were a lot of military people around, Craig.
Yeah, there was.
I did notice that. And so this is the little area. It's almost just like a little rest stop outside of St. Roberts. And the area is owned or was owned by a man named Louis Keene. Louis. And in the 1990s and the early 2000s, he had some ownership of some gentleman clubs.
With the ladies in the poles. Is that the one we were talking about? Those sort of clubs. Yes.
Right on Route 66. And the city of St. Roberts did not like that.
No, they don't want to become the next Vegas sort of style.
Yes. So, in response to that, Keene, he pivoted away from adult clubs and leaned into humor, novelty, suggestiveness without crossing over the line of adult territory.
Well, no, because it's a teenage territory. It's a teenage territory.
Yeah, that's true. Yes. And thus, Uranus was born.
So is it an official town called Uranus? Is it actually officially called Uranus a town? No, it's literally his block of land that he owns.
Yes.
He classes as Uranus. He's put up the signs. It's more like it's one of those like really a roadside attraction for Route 66. It really is.
Yeah, for sure.
It's become a real big roadside attraction for it too. So
yes.
So what's happened from there?
It was sort of his response to the city officials about his businesses that he was owning. So he decided to do something a little bit more family friendly. Technically family friendly.
Technically it is. There's nothing.
But the signage, there was some not so family friendly signage.
There really was. And merchandise as well, like T-shirts and stickers and magnets, etc. as well. So, a lot of innuendo we found, Josh, when we went inside inside the building, inside the Fudge Factory, because apparently they say the best fudge is from Uranus. So things like that we're talking about is the innuendo we're discussing more so than anything else.
It was pretty good fudge.
Yeah.
I tried it. You guys bought some and I ate some. It was good for fudge from Uranus.
It was. And there was very different flavors of fudge too from Uranus as well. So, we had the cookies and cream. We had the salted caramel. That was good too. Now, and here's another tip, Josh. Did you like the fudge out of the fridge or the fudge from room temperature? There's two different consistencies, remember?
Yeah, I like room temperature.
Yeah, you like the smooth fudge out of Uranus.
I like it a little smoother.
You don't like it too hard and rocky.
No, not too hard. Not too hard.
That's fair. we can't go there already. We're getting too deep in Uranus already.
And I'll just say this as we continue on. We're going to lean in. We're going to lean into the poop humor.
Yes. Yeah.
Not the other kind of humor.
No. We'll do our best and see what happens from there.
We'll see what happens.
That's right.
So here's the deal. This was a last minute decision for me to join you and Rob in Uranus because I had been hearing for months and months on the official Munzie podcast, which you are a co-host of, about this event. And it just got, Craig, it worked. It just got burned into my brain. Yeah. And I was having FOMO before I could even have FOMO. So I knew I needed to make it to Uranus or Uranus. And so I booked a Sun Country Airlines, not sponsored, but Sun Country if you're listening, a $138 round trip flight.
What?
A $138 round trip flight.
Wow.
Sun Country Airlines from Minneapolis to St. Louis. So I couldn't turn that up. I had the weekend free. And so I was like, I gotta have big fun in Uranus.
Yes.
Because that's actually what the event was called.
The event was called Big Fun in Uranus. Yeah.
And if you have searched Uranus and you're all wondering about it, and our podcast came up, you might be wondering, what in the world is Munzie? What are they talking about?
Oh, yes.
We were at a Munzie event. Craig, you are a great ambassador for Munzie. Can you just give a little bit of a
I'm going to
two-sentence?
I'm going to refer to Joshua, the geocaching vlogger's version of Munzie, and that is because everyone knows pretty much they know geocaching, and geocaching is a location-based game where you find hidden things in the bushes, in the woods, in car parks, or whatever else as well. Everyone also knows Pokemon Go. The Pokemon Go is very much the electronic version of a location-based game where you get little creatures on the screen. And Josh, you said this yourself, and it's being used now prolifically throughout the Munzie world, and that is geocaching. Pokemon Go, they have a love child. That love child is Munzie. So that's how it was. So that's what Munzie basically is. So, there's QR code stickers that you can go and physical ones which you can actually cap or take a photo of basically through the app. Or there's a lot of virtual ones. And the virtual ones, Josh, their virtual ones can be placed from anyone all over the world. You don't have to actually physically be there to place it. So I had friends in Australia, Josh, placing virtual Munzies and cards and everything else as well all over the top of Uranus. So I hope you weren't too worried about that.
That was so nice of them.
Yeah.
To do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm the one that came up with that description. I'm going to claim it.
Yeah, you did.
Geocaching.
I just said that before. That's what I just.
Thank you for the credit.
I told you. I gave you credit for it.
I know, and you know what? It must work because I have the most referrals in the world,
including Josh. Including you have your biggest referral. Your number one referral is
you,
me, and now I work for Munzie as well. So one of your referrals is actually a staff member now.
Wow! Wow. Some people think with my 1,500 referrals, they don't think they're quality referrals. But come on, I've got somebody that works for them. So right. I think that's a quality referral.
I mean, don't worry about the other 1,499, but that's okay. But we want to hear if you are one of Josh's referrals as well. Let us know. Send us an email. Tell me who else is Josh's referrals. I'd love to know. And so would you, Josh, too, I dare say.
And
yes.
And if you want to become one of my referrals, if you want to be a part of the 1500 club, you can just go to my YouTube video that I just posted.
Yes.
As this published Monday, it was published yesterday.
Yep.
And my little referral code, is right on there. You can capture it and join the club.
Or Josh, it'll be in the show notes as well. So I'll put it in the show notes as well. So there you go.
You can put yours and people could choose which one they want to.
No, I'll put yours in. You are the number one. You'll stay number one for that. There's no way I'm catching that number. I
don't think anybody's catching it. Maybe.
No.
I don't know.
No, exactly. All right, Josh, so you're talking about the $138 round trip to the Sun Country Airlines. It was only the weekend, so you didn't have to pack much at all, did you? It's just carry on.
The thing with Sun Country Airlines is that they have cheap fares, but they kind of nickel and dime you with the baggage.
Oh, so everything else is extra.
Yeah. So an overhead is like $30. A check bag is $30. But it was only a 3-day weekend. So I had an awesome backpack that I could just put underneath my seat. And the backpacks are free. So that's a good tip for you if you travel Spirit Airlines, Sun Country, these airlines that nickel and dime you. If you could pack everything really tight, then you can do it cheap on the cheap, which I did.
And Josh, I do believe that backpack that you used as well, you did have that or display that on one of your recent videos on your YouTube channel as well, didn't you? No?
Yeah, we should put it in the show notes.
Yeah, I will.
It is a really cool.
Yeah.
It can fit a lot.
Yeah.
And it's TSA approved for under the seat. So
that's ideal.
It's a good one.
Ideal. Yep. Link again for that one in the show notes as well too. So that's pretty cool. So Josh, how long did it take you on the flight?
It's like an hour, 15 minutes.
So it's like you go up and you come back down again. That's nice.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And then I got a rental car, and it was about a 2-hour drive. The drive was longer than the flight. A 2-hour drive from St. Louis right into Uranus.
Yeah, and we felt you coming as well. So, we heard you. We saw the Munsies, that you're capping along the way, because Munsies like that as well. If you put a Munsie out, you get notifications when people cap that Munsie as well. So that's what I mean, Josh. We're feeling you coming through because you were capping my Munsies that I'd placed all the way through too, which is really awesome. So it's 2-hour drive from St. Louis.
And when I drove into Uranus, you guys were already in there.
Correct.
You were already there. We're having fun.
We'd been there for 2 hours already. So we did this is on the Saturday because the Sunday was this is on the Friday because the Saturday was the events. And I said to Rob at the time, I said, let's do Uranus now. Let's go in there. Let's really soak up Uranus, really get in there, really sort of enjoy everything that there is to be about Uranus without anyone else, talking Munsie stuff as well. And so we did. We went in there on the Friday just before lunchtime. And as soon as we walk in, Josh, what happens? Everyone screams out, "Welcome to Uranus." Whole, every single time someone walks in, they all scream out the same thing. You go in there, and then Rob and I, Josh, spent 2 hours soaking up Uranus. So inside, looking at everything, we read every single T-shirt that was there, every sticker that was there. And we listened to all the staff members because all the staff members had very good innuendo puns to everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Every single person. I mean, there was hundreds of different puns they were talking about, and I just couldn't stop, So we bought our fudge as well, and he even asked us, would you like your fudge packed, in a nice hard solid box, or would you like it loose as a goose in a bag, that sort of thing. So we both got it in a box. And then we went and had, because there's a like a hot dog stand down there as well. And so we had to have a wiener in Uranus, and that's what they call it, having a wiener in Uranus. It also has an ice cream place as well, so you can have a lick of Uranus as well. And so, so we had that, and that's when you turned up after that, Josh. So we'd been there for 2 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing that there's enough stuff to do in Uranus, to take up 2 hours of fun.
Yeah, and we didn't even do everything, Josh, because you and I, we'll talk about it very soon.
Oh,
you and I did something that we didn't on the Saturday. We didn't do on the Friday either. So that was awesome. And to be honest with you, Josh, we were going to do it, but I said no. We have to wait for Josh.
Thank you.
Because I know what you're like with these things. I know what you like, mate.
I know. I want to be a part of it. I want to be a part of things.
Yeah, exactly.
So the first thing we did when I got there is I saw the mini golf.
Oh.
And I was like, we're going to do the pirate mini golf place.
What's it called? It was called Putt Pirates.
Something.
Putt Pirates.
Putt Pirates.
Putt Pirates.
And I am ashamed to say that Craig dominated again.
Again, just like
mini golf.
Remember, Josh, back in Florida. This is a couple of years ago now. The time, Josh, we birthed this podcast in a hot tub. That time I'm talking about, you and I and Rob as well, and Carson, Buckeye Casher as well, the young guy. We played putt-putt golf in Florida. And it was Golf and Gator we played it at too. And again, I dominated all three of you there. And the domination kept on going in Putt Pirates as well. So I will say the best thing about Putt Pirates, Josh, is you can actually pick your different coloured balls. You know, Rob picked green because green's for Munsey. I think you had yellow, and I had to have blue balls, Josh. But anyway.
Yeah, you had to.
Yeah.
You know, it made sense.
Yeah. 15-year-old Craig made sense. So mini golf, Josh. What did you like about the mini golf? I actually really liked the course. I thought it was a clever course. They had water hazards there as well, which you thought they were a hazard, but they were actually a help. You know.
Yes, that was the best hole. You could like hit it into the river, and the river would take it straight into the hole.
Well, close enough to the hole anyway. So.
Pretty close. Pretty darn close.
Yeah. So,
but now it's kind of becoming a tradition. If you and I and Rob are together and we see mini golf, we have to do it. We have to stop.
Yeah, it's a thing now. It is a thing, and I like that thing because I'm good at it compared to you two. So I like it more than axe throwing, for instance. But next
we did have some other competitions, so we'll talk about.
We did. But next time, Josh, when we have Tim around as well, our good friend Tim, Minnesota boy, we need to do some mini golf with. He hasn't played mini golf with us yet.
He might be really good.
Yeah, he might be really good. He's done some axe throwing, which he wasn't good at. Neither was I, and some other things as well. But he might be really good at it too. I need some competition, Josh. So then, after the mini golf, what else do we do after that, Josh?
Well, I visited the big virtual. There's a virtual geocache there.
Yeah.
Word is there used to be several geocaches in Uranus, but I think they got removed.
Yeah.
Because we'll say it a little bit later. They weren't too pleased when they found out there was a Munsey event happening the next day.
And that surprised me. It's a
bummer.
It is.
Bummer.
It is.
But the first Munsey event was not in Uranus. It was in St. Roberts, and it was at the coolest place, Craig.
Oh,
it was so cool.
I loved it.
It was the Route 66 Diner. I think that's what it was called, right?
That's exactly what it was called. The Route 66 Diner in St. Roberts. And if you close your eyes, you're listening to us right now, close your eyes, and you picture the words Route 66 Diner. What you see in your head is exactly what it looked like. Yes. It was like a bright silver caboose thing with neon lights and Route 66 on it, and the arrow with the neon, and the old school with the doors open up when you go in, and you can sit at the bar itself, or you can the black and white checker floor as well. Like it was exactly like the movies. So
yeah, and there was like a bar, and there was a jukebox.
Yes.
I had an old-fashioned breakfast there. You were talking so much that you didn't even eat, I don't think.
No. I tried to eat some salad because I was a bit hungry, but I was talking. Well, that's what happens, Josh, when you work for the company is that, you have to start to talk to people.
You are so famous now in the Munsey world because you're in the game. You're in the game.
Yes, I've got badges.
You have your own Munseys, badges.
Yeah, the Flat Aussie as well. The Flat Aussie Munsey's out there too, and it has Flat Aussie events as well, which is really cool. So yeah. I'm part of the game, Josh. Part of the game.
I'm kind of part of the game, but I'm more Munsey adjacent.
Yes, yeah. You're Munsey friendly.
I'm Munsey friendly because I had a badge too.
Yeah, you had your own badge, too. Coexist badge, which is awesome.
It was cool.
Yep.
Awesome.
So that was the Route 66 Diner. Again, a wonderful place to stop. The food was. I only had a little bit of a salad, but everyone looked like it was enjoying their food as well. But it's just iconic, Josh. The photos you can get from out the front, the video you can get from out the front, there's the selfies you take. If you go across the US and you're going through Route 66, you've got to stop at these sort of places just to make everyone else have FOMO from your Instagram page. I'll say that. So,
yeah, I love Route 66. I love the roadside attractions. Yeah. So this is just the tip of the iceberg because we found out after we left that there is right in St. Roberts, there's a new neon sign museum.
I was going to leave that to the end.
Greg.
We missed it by a week. That's all right. We missed it by a week.
We missed it.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about it now?
Really
then
cool.
Talk about it now.
Yeah,
then.
it looks really cool.
Yes.
It's just like a park filled with neon signs,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, exactly. And what they've done with this park is they've created the park with an actual footpath as well, like a concrete footpath that goes around, and all the neon signs are freestanding, and they've all been bolted into the concrete as well and into Rio, so they're not going anywhere. And I do believe, I'm not sure if they turn on at night or not. I'm hoping they do, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So it's a possibility they may. Because I know the one in Vegas, Josh. Yeah, there's the ones in Vegas as well. That's like that's a really cool neon sign, and they turn on at night. So I'm hoping these ones do too.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
Yeah,
I'm sure they do. I mean, I don't know how late they're up.
Yeah,
they're on, but
yeah.
I saw the pictures from our friend from Silly America.
Yes.
She was invited.
Yes, she got invited. Of all things, she got invited. That was awesome. I loved it. Yeah. I loved it. So yeah, that's the Route 66 and the neon signs. Then, Josh, after that, what did we do after that? After the Route 66? I think we went
back to the Airbnb, had Triscuits and cheese.
And fudge. Miller High Life.
And Miller High Life. Triscuits.
Cheese.
The cracked pepper ones. And before I even got there, Craig.
Yes.
Oh man, he knows me so well. He got my favorite Triscuits.
I did.
Cracked pepper.
The cracked pepper. I know you're and you were blown away, Josh. See, the last episode we recorded, you were blown away because I know what your living room looks like, and I know your record player that you have, and I know how you hold your vinyls up on the wall as you're playing the records. And now you're blown away because I know your taste buds when it comes to Triscuits, etc. See, so I like it, mate.
That.
I like it.
I love that. So yeah, it was pretty tired. I mean, it was a big day. We did a lot. I got there late afternoon, so it was time for bed. But then we woke up.
The next morning was a big day.
This was the big day. The big day in Uranus. Yeah. This was the big day.
Yeah.
So there were 2 Munzie events that day. One was in a park in St. Roberts.
Yep.
And I love Munzie events, Craig. They're different. They're different than geocache events.
Very, very different indeed.
Because geocache events tend to be a little bit more social. These are social, and you actually get to play the game you want to play. So there were so many virtual Munzies, as you said before. But then there's like a nice little trail, so you can walk around with people and shoot the crap with people and catch up with people.
And I feel, Josh, as well, when you do that as well, you tend to learn how other people play Munzie, because Munzie can be played in several different ways, and people focus on different things. Some people focus on the virtual, some people focus on the physical, some people focus on the bounces, etc. as well. And we were walking around with a really good player and a good friend of mine too, Sue, her name is, known as Munrose, and her husband, Munrose too. We were walking around with those two. We had the boosters going, so that means we're getting double points upon double points and double physical points and double virtual points, and yeah, so we had a really good time walking around, and you can still remain social, but you can still play the game. You see, you can't do that with geocaching events because there's no, you can't. And if you find a geocache, then you find the geocache. That's it. Like Munzies, every 50 foot is a physical Munzie that can be placed every 50 foot. So that's how close they are, and it's a really nice walk. It is a really nice walk in most cases. So I enjoy them.
So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and we spent probably 3 hours there, I'd say. Roughly 3 hours.
That includes a good hour walk as well. And fitness-wise, you start the walk because you're doing 50-odd pins, and you start the walk, and you do it on your watch, your app, and you walk a few miles, and you don't even realize it, Josh, that you're actually exercising. Exercise with purpose. See?
I love that.
With purpose.
And here's another thing that's really fun about Munzie is when you go to these kind of national events, the ones that you guys publicize on your podcast, like everybody who's at those events, they're going to be the top 15, 20 players in the world that day. And so it's really fun to watch everybody on the leaderboard because you're like, oh my gosh, all these people are here at this event. So that's kind of fun too. It's kind of like a who's who of Munzie. And the number one player in the world's there, which is Bob Whalen.
Yep.
W. Helen, some people call him. So it's fun. It's fun to rub shoulders with the number one players. And we didn't even say it, Craig.
What? What?
Yours truly was number 1 on Friday.
Oh, that's true too. That's true as well. Yeah, only because everyone was holding back because the official month, Munsey month, starts on the 3rd, so that was on the Saturday. So Josh, you went ahead and you went a little wild on the Friday and got number 1 player in the world on that day.
Hey, why not? Why not?
Yeah, and I will say Munsey again. It brings out that competitive nature in people too. It is very much a heavily points-based game. And so, yeah, you can have fun, but also at the same time, you're watching leaderboards and you see someone like, Sue, for instance, who's slightly in competition with someone else. And, they're literally going above and beyond from each other, try and cap more and more and more to get ahead of each other as well. So just like myself and Rob currently at the moment, I'm chasing Rob down for overall points. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah,
if you don't know who Rob is the president of Munsey.
The president, the numero uno. He's always been the number 1 staff member of Munsey. So
the big cheese.
I'm going to overtake him in points sometime this year. I'm giving myself a year, so that's exciting. So after the Munsey event, Josh, we had to wet our whistle and have a bite to eat. And we, of course, we seek out what? A Mexican restaurant, because we've got to have those margaritas, Josh.
Yeah, this is the tradition, every I feel like every small town in America has a good, authentic Mexican restaurant. So we have to stop at least one. At least one meal in a Mexican restaurant.
Yep.
And we had some margaritas, and so it was good fun. It was good food, good times.
Yep.
And that's another tip for you. Small towns often have a really good. At least Mexican, good Mexican restaurant. Support those local businesses.
And they're really easy to find too with a Google search or Yelp reviews, and you'll find the number 1 there. And you also, if you drive past, if there's no one in there, then it's probably not the best. But if there's people in there, locals, then that's the best one to do too.
Yeah.
That's a good tip. So after that, we've consumed our food, Josh. We went to the big event in Uranus itself.
Finally.
Again. Having big fun in Uranus. And this is the time, though, that we got our cameras out now, Josh, and we started to film.
Oh, yeah.
The Friday was more relaxed, no cameras. The Saturday was filming time as well. So.
Oh, yeah.
Here's a question for you off the cuff. What was your number 1 favorite from Uranus? Or should I leave that question to the end?
My favorite thing about Uranus. That's tough, because the whole thing is just one big experience. But this is the thing I think I liked about it the most. It's Route 66. It's like the epitome of Route 66. I loved all the neon signs.
Yes.
Like they were really high quality. Yeah. Speaking of neon, that's why I'm really bummed I missed the neon sign park. The neon signs are really cool. They had the one by the putt-putt golf. They had one on the building of the Fudge Factory. And then they had the iconic one that was like out on the road. And I think when I see those neon signs, it just speaks to me. This is Route 66. I think that was my favorite part.
Yeah.
But maybe my second favorite part was something that wasn't so great, but it was so fun to just get your reaction to it. We're going to get to it a little bit later.
I'm thinking that's my number 1 too, to be honest with you, Josh.
Okay.
Why don't we get to it now? Why don't we just get to it now? We can do it now.
But I mentioned the mayor of Uranus is a giant statue. So I forgot to say this. There's one geocache on the site. It's a virtual geocache. So that makes sense. So the people won't get upset because there's no container hidden there.
Yeah.
But you have to get a sign with this giant statue. And it's an old muffler man statue.
Yeah.
So I think there's muffler men all over it. But they take these muffler men and they paint them and change them and make them look different. So this guy, had a cowboy hat and he had like red, white, and blue vest. And he was apparently the mayor of,
He even had a golf stick in his hand and a golf ball as well because of the putt.
Yes.
So yeah.
Fun fact, he lost his head in a tornado.
Well, Josh, fun fact for you. I was there exactly 12 months prior to, and he didn't have his head. That's when he lost his head. So I have a selfie with him with no head and then another selfie with him and a head. So there you go. 12 months to the day. 12 months to the day.
You said that they found a head like pretty far away because of tornado.
It was almost 2 miles away. The head itself was almost 2 miles away. Apparently, it got the cowboy hat was what got it sort of ripped off from the neck, and it was literally from his neck was gone. Just his head and his cowboy hat combined still together, and they were found like 2 miles away. And they knew exactly where it was from. They called up the insurance company, and then they went and picked it up and then put it back on. So, yeah, there you go. There you go. Don't lose your head in Uranus, Josh.
Yeah. Before we get to the thing that you want to talk about, a couple other things. There's the Uranus jail.
Yep.
Wasn't much in there other than a photo opportunity. Although there was a little box that said "baby rattlers."
Oh, I did like that.
Caution. And you looked in there, it was like actually like rattle like baby
rattles,
like
rattles.
Yeah, that was kind of funny. And then I did go into the Fudge Factory. The Fudge Factory, that's like probably the
main thing,
the busiest place.
Yeah.
And you're right. Just like you could stand there forever. Just look at all the puns and all the shirts. I got a magnet. It's on my fridge right now.
Yeah.
That's another tip. Here's another travel tip for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you want a souvenir, get a magnet.
Yes.
Get a magnet. They're affordable, and then it's all about remembering, right?
Yes.
You want to remember the experience.
Exactly.
So when I look at my fridge, I was like, oh, I remember when I was at that place. So I tend to always get a magnet.
And magnets are good, Josh, because they're not permanent like stickers. I mean, I do the sticker thing because my walls are actual wood. So I do the sticker thing. I can't do magnets. Otherwise, I would do magnets. But magnets are removable as well. So if your fridge carks it and, you have to get a new fridge, you don't have to peel all the stickers off. You can actually just take the magnets off and put it on your new fridge. So
perfect.
Yeah,
that's perfect. Another thing that was there was the former world's largest belt buckle.
The former, yes, the former, and it even had its certificate there as well from the Guinness World Records. So it was the holder of the Guinness World Records, but Josh, it is now in Aberdeen, Kansas.
Abilene.
That's it, Abilene in Kansas. And I've been to that one a couple of weeks prior. I was in Abilene, Kansas for the Moga event. That's where I sprained my ankle. But that one, the belt buckle in Abilene as well, Josh, there's got a spiral staircase behind it, and it's all up on stilts. And you can actually walk up behind it and get a photo from above it. And so it's a really, really cool. It's brand new, and I'm going to say, Josh, it's about 1.5 times the size of the one in Uranus. So it's much bigger than Uranus.
It's actually a part of the Geo Tour in Abilene too.
Yes,
I heard.
Yes, it is
one of the locations.
Exactly right. And there's a really good geocache under it as well. It's a really good magnetized container under the staircase. So, spoiler alert.
Cool. All right, let's talk about the pièce de résistance.
Oh yes. Which I wouldn't think it was. I wouldn't think it was by looking at it, but I beg to differ. I look back now and go, that's my most memorable part of Uranus was the museum.
The Sideshow Museum.
Oh, you have to say Sideshow.
And Craig, what do I always say about a museum?
You got to do it.
Say?
You got to go.
You never skip.
You never skip a museum.
You never skip. Even if you're not really even interested in the thing that it's about.
Yeah.
Because you learn so much. Because Craig, I was in Bowling Green, Kentucky this weekend. And I've been there so many times, but the National Corvette Museum.
I was going to say the car museum, the Corvette Museum.
Yes.
Yes.
The Corvette Museum. And I actually paid the $25 to go in. And I'm so glad I did because it was awesome.
Really?
It was really cool.
Yeah.
So if you get by there again, Craig, you got to stop at the Corvette Museum. Sorry, but we're not talking about Bowling Green.
Nope.
We're talking about
Uranus.
So the Sideshow Museum is a nod to the old sideshow from, sideshow circus sort of thing. Where the circus would come to town.
The short people, bearded ladies, two-headed things, and they call them the freaks. They did call them freak show. It was a freak show.
Yeah. And one of the highlights of this one was there's a sword swallower.
Yeah, and slash magician, Josh. She's also magic. She did magic, remember?
Oh,
you cut that out. You didn't show any of her magic in the video. I don't know why. I felt a little bit sorry, Josh. I mean, there was you and I, and there was a family of 4 there watching her. So there was 6 people watching her, and you could hear a pin drop. It was so quiet, deadly quiet. And even in your video, when I watched your video today, Josh, as well, when she swallowed the swords, you kind of looked around and you clapped her yourself, and you were the only one clapping.
Because I felt bad. Nobody was clapping for her. This is her craft.
Yeah.
Because the magic. Now here's the thing: the lady, the people in Uranus that work there, they might search for stuff. So if you're listening, lady.
Yeah.
If you're listening, sword swallowing lady.
Yeah.
I'm impressed with the sword swallowing.
Yes.
Like it's real.
It's real. It's a real
legit.
sword. It's legit. It was. Yeah.
And she had it was leopard tattoos all over her face, Craig.
Yeah, and down her shoulders and her arm, and
you gotta love. I mean, Craig, you gotta love when somebody fully commits.
She's like,
she's like, I'm in the Sideshow Museum. I'm the sword swallower.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leopard tattoos all over my face.
That's right. It'd be like,
you gotta appreciate
it'd be like you or I, Josh, getting a trackable tattoo on us. We're fully committed to our
she's committed. So everybody was just staring at her, and I was it was a smattering of applause.
Yes.
I'm just like,
yeah.
That's what it sounded like. Yay! Craig and I just look at each other and we're like, this wasn't what I expected.
Yeah. But it was a real. You're right. It was a real sword, Josh. But not only that, what I was actually impressed by a little bit as well. She swallows the sword all the way down, and it's a good length of sword. I'm going to say it's a good 3-foot sword. Do you think 3 feet?
3 feet.
3 feet.
3 feet. Right down her gullet.
Yeah, right down into her stomach itself. And it goes all the way down, and she stands correctly, so it's a straight line, obviously. But then she leans forward, and the tip of it, the tip of the sword, is like an old school handle. So when I say old school, I'm talking about the handle, and I'm talking about the sides that come out as well to stop your hand from going to the blade. And so she had that in her mouth, and it was at the side, and then she'd lean forward, and it was one of those electrodes, those little electrodes. There was one of those there, and she put the sword tip close enough to make sparks between the sword sticking out of her mouth and the electrode too. So that to me added that little bit of flair. That was a little bit of flair.
How did she not have a gag reflex like that? I mean, like, really, seriously, like, that's
training, Josh. Training. It has to be training.
I know,
yes.
It's amazing. And here's a fun fact. Mm-hmm. We did that, and then I went back in the Fudge Factory, and there's a painting on the wall of the lady.
Of her, exactly. Yeah, that was really cool. I saw that too. And again, you don't realize that was actually her until you see her in person first.
Yeah, she was.
That was fun.
She was committed.
But Josh,
in the museum, it was like two-headed stuff. It was like two-headed goats.
And then two-bodied stuff as well. There was two-headed goats, and there was two-bodied chickens. So in other words, there was two bodies and one head on this one chicken. So I don't know what sort of taxidermist, what sick head taxidermist would do this sort of stuff, but that's what they did. They then tried to make up different things like mermaids. Yeah. And now, Josh, those mermaids, I have not seen mermaids like that. That's not mermaids.
Yeah, they were creepy. They were like demons.
Demon mermaids. They even tried and made a human crocodile as well. So it's human from the chest up and crocodile from the chest down. But then, Josh, one was my favorite, was they just got random face masks that you see in movies and stuff and put them on foam heads and then had them on display, including your friend from the Goonies.
Hey, you guys! Yep, Sloth was there.
Yep.
We're like, that's not a real head. That's just a sloth mask. I've got one of those in my closet.
One more thing, Joshua, before we move on as well, I will say, and here you go, Josh, I'm throwing you the football ready for this, and you're doing the touchdown right now. What would you say about that woman, that leopard lady? Would you think she's, proud?
You know what? She's proud. She's proud of Uranus. She probably was the most proud person of Uranus.
She was.
She's proud of her town. And you know what? That's a rare thing these days. That's a damn rare thing these days.
There you go. Do you like that?
She loves Uranus.
Yes. There you go. Touchdown, Josh. You're welcome. From me, Craig, the quarterback. You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Anyway,
by the way, the shirts have not come yet. I'm canceling.
Oh, really?
I'm so glad that I haven't told people to buy them because I keep contacting them. They're like, we're short staffed. I'm like, I just bought 2 shirts. You can't make 2 shirts in 3 months.
Yeah. Well, Josh, I will say that we have had a couple of messages, emails asking about the products. So there you go. Unfortunately, that we definitely will not have them in time for Geo Woodstock.
Well,
which was a hope. So
maybe if I put them on a different shop today,
and
then.
We can talk about this after the episode, Josh. We'll talk about this.
We won't have a meeting.
We're not having a meeting as part of the episode.
Okay.
Because Josh, again, one of my favorite things, I didn't know it was my favorite thing until we did it, and that is after we were at the Uranus, we then went back to St. I get St. Paul, St. Peter's, where is it? St. something?
St. Robert's.
Paul, Peter, Robert. I'll get it one day. And we went to Bogies and Beer, Josh.
Yeah.
That was so cool. Tell us about Bogies and Beer.
Bogies and Beers is like a golf simulator place where you can like hit golf balls into a screen and then it like actually like shows where the ball goes or whatever. But because we got there, we had to rent golf clubs. They had other simulations.
Yes.
So we did foot golf.
Yeah, which is
where
with a soccer ball.
Yeah, soccer ball. We kicked it into the screen, and that was really fun. It was tricky. It wasn't easy. And then we played disc golf.
Yeah.
So we threw discs into the screen, and that was really cool. It's a ton of fun, and I was like surprised because we were there on a Saturday night. We were the only people there.
Only ones there. Now
I hope Bogies and Beers like survives this economy.
It's a good idea, and it had beers too. Like it had a fully fledged bar as well. So we're having beers. It was yes. It
and
kind of looked new. Yeah.
It was, maybe it was new. Maybe people didn't know about it yet. Maybe it was brand new.
Yeah.
But also it had a touch tunes. You know how we love our touch tunes.
We do. What I love the most about it, and he does listen to the show, Josh, and that is Rob, the president of Munsey. He was with us as well. He chose foot golf first because he's a big soccer fan. So he thought to himself, oh, I'm going to beat these boys at soccer. Josh, who won the foot golf?
You did.
And
it's because it's golf.
Even with my bung ankle. And then Josh, who won the disc golf?
I think I did, didn't I?
No, I did. Thank you very much. I won both. I won everything all weekend. So
wow.
I wish we had some money on it. We didn't even have any money on it this time.
I know. So. Well, now that you work for Munsey, you know the Zeds aren't worth as much.
for me, but for you they are. For you they
true.
They're
exactly. They're worth value.
Yeah.
So. And that was it.
That was your whole.
We were late. It was late. We got to go back to the Airbnb.
Yeah. Finish off
have some more cheese.
Cheese, exactly. And also, Josh, you had to get up early in the morning. What time did you leave the next morning?
I had to get up at 3:45 a.m.
Yeah.
And I drove to St. Louis to catch a 7:30, 8 a.m. flight.
Right.
So crazy thing is, I was home petting my trusty dog Goliath by 10:30 a.m. Sunday morning.
so I had
to
be home
all
for
day
brunch.
Sunday.
Home for brunch.
Exactly. I was home. So like the Munsey morning event, because there was a Munsey event on Sunday, was still going on by the time I got home.
Yeah, it was. And that was a good event. That was just at the local Cracker Barrel. You know how I love my Cracker Barrels, Josh. So that was just a goodbye event to anyone that was still left around Uranus as well. So again, we did a nice little 50-pin cap all around the Cracker Barrel. And I walked around with Sue Munro's there again as well. And Bob W. Helen walked with me as well. So lots and lots of fun. I will say there is one player, and I'll give her a little shout out. She probably doesn't listen to this show. And that is Tofu Girl. I saw her walking around, and then I looked around, and here she's walking around with a tree snake. I'm like, where did you get that from?
What?
And she said, a tree. So,
wow.
It takes all types, Josh, in our hobbies, especially geocaching or Munsey as well. And one thing I do love about our hobbies, and that is that every single person is welcome, in our hobbies. No matter what your type of person you are, you're always welcome and you're always embraced. So, big shout out.
People are really accepted
everyone.
in our hobbies.
Yeah.
We all have this common love for geolocation-based games, and everyone is welcome.
Exactly.
And almost everyone's friendly.
Almost. Yeah, almost. There are still a couple that aren't, but that's okay.
Humans.
I know. All right, Joshua, we're going to go to the patrons because I'm going to say we got a brand new patron. A brand spanking new patron. I can't believe it as well. And he says he's a patron because he listens to the show now. And I think he listens to the show because I egg him on so much on his show. And it is Scott Burks from the GCPC, also known as the Geocaching Podcast. And so, Scott, congratulations, mate, and welcome, as he likes to say, welcome to the inner circle. He knuckled up to the bar.
Thanks, Scott, for knuckling up to the bar finally, because we've been knuckling up the bar to your podcast for years.
Yeah, for years and years and years. That's right. So, no, welcome, Scott. Thank you, mate. We do appreciate it.
Thank you, Scott.
We do appreciate
yes. It, and you know, on the geocaching podcast, they have like sound effects for everybody who calls in, but we don't have sound effects. So I'm going to give Scott a sound effect right now. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Sweet home, Chicago.
Oh, jeez. I had no clue what that was until you said Sweet Home Chicago. I had no clue.
He's from Chicago, so I don't know.
Yep. Oh, Josh, one more big thank you.
Oh, my gosh. We got to talk about this.
Huge thank you. So, Josh, this is the first time, because everyone knows I'm full-time on the road. I don't have an actual residence. And so one of our patrons, I'm going to shout out Waymarker Jan. Waymarker Jan, Josh, he sent you some gifts for you and for me as well. First and foremost, he's part of the actual official letterboxing. Letterboxing was the like geocaching before geocaching. So letterboxing, you got to different locations, and then you had to do like a treasure hunt sort of thing. But letterboxing,
follow clues. Follow clues. Not coordinates.
No, they're clues. And then you've got an official your own stamp, and you've got to stamp your stamp in that logbook, and then they've got a stamp in the cache container, and you stamp your book with their stamp as well. That's the way letterboxing works. Waymarker Jan, let me know if that's incorrect. But I think that's right.
I think that sounds right.
I think that sounds about right. Yeah. But he made yours and my stamps. Like he actually hand carved our logos stamps. I can't thank this guy enough. They look so awesome. Good. They are so good. But my favorite part, Waymarker Jan, I know you listen, mate. I know you listen really well. My favorite part of all was the way it was delivered, Joshua. The way it was delivered.
So funny.
See,
so funny.
He listens to the show and he loves the March Madness. One of his favorite episodes is March Madness. And he goes on March Madness. And so, think about back to March Madness this year, Josh. I was for the patrons. I was for the people, always for the people.
You were the voice of the patrons.
I was the voice.
So they say.
Yeah.
So they say.
They all say, every single one. Including Waymarker Jan as well, because, Josh, why don't you say, firstly, how was yours presented? How was your display presented?
Mine was in my note.
Yes.
Because we both had notes.
Yes.
My letter was just a little piece of paper that said, here. And the envelope was had coffee stains.
It's ratty. Dirty.
I'm looking at it right now.
Spelt your name wrong.
Yeah. And it says no postage to be paid by recipients.
I love it.
And that's a shout out to when I did my mailing for my patrons, because he's also a patron of the geocaching blogger as well. I accidentally didn't put enough postage on it because I had all those magnets.
That's
so everything came to people with postage, they had to pay to get it delivered.
No.
So that's a shout out to that flub. So
that was yours.
Yeah.
Then I get mine, Josh. Mine is in a beautiful, nice, hard, not cardboard, but sort of, a not really nice, delicate paper. It was written in calligraphy, like the old school.
Beautiful.
Beautiful, stunning, gorgeous. It was folded in an immaculate way, like it was actually folded like an origami. And then what was the piece of resistance was it was actually sealed with an official wax seal and press. He's got his own press and a wax seal on my note. And my note read all the way down saying, thank you for everything you do, Craig. Thank you for being a voice of the patrons. It went on a full sentence all the way down, a full paragraph all the way. So a big shout out to him. But again, Josh, there was another piece of paper in there, or not piece of paper, another envelope. And in that envelope contained a birthday card for me. Again, because a voice of the patron, see? And Josh, $25 gift card to Cracker Barrel. So, wow. Mate, I tell you, next time, Waymarker Jan, when you see us at Geo Woodstock, mate, come up. I got a big hug for you, mate, and say a big thank you.
I'm going to remember this, Waymarker Jan, when I meet you. And I just want to say, I also have birthday too. It's not. It wasn't anywhere around now.
And it's not
But
50.
I have a birthday too.
And it's not 50. Mine was 50.
Oh, that's
Josh,
true.
Too. So it was the big 50.
It was a big one.
There you go.
Okay.
We'll
see what happens when I turn 50.
You always get FOMO, which is only next year, but anyway. Or the year
after. It's not next year, Greg.
I'm only joking.
Not even close.
But Josh, how can patrons or how can people become part of that Scott Burke's inner circle if they wish to become a patron? How do they do that?
Yeah. Thanks, Scott. Thanks, Waymarker Jan.
Mm-hmm.
Waymarker Jan, super fan. He's so nice.
He's so nice.
So nice. We have some incredible people that support this podcast. Thank you so much. And if you've been listening to this one and you want to knuckle up to the bar and support us, go to patreon.com/treasures of our town. And we got golden nuggets in there.
Yeah, we do.
You can reveal.
I will say, Josh, as well, the last episode we did with Jeff Wagg, all the patrons got the golden nugget about how Jeff actually came about to find all those hidden gems in those small towns that you thought were boring. So in the golden nugget for that, he explains exactly how he did that. So if you want to know exactly how Jeff did that, then patrons only. So
he knows how to do that. He knows a lot.
He does.
He knows a lot about a lot of things.
Yeah, that's right.
That's for
right.
sure.
But Josh, how can other people find us or reach out to us if they wish to as well?
Yes. Feel free to reach out to us at treasuresofourtown@gmail.com, or you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, and YouTube. Or if you search Treasures of Our Town Podcast on Google, you can do a little message right on our page on our Buzzsprout page.
Exactly. But also, Josh, that's it for our show today. Subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite podcasting app. And as always,
may your travels always lead you to the most unexpected and amazing hidden gems around the world, like Uranus. See you in Uranus.
Bye, everybody.